how to do an editorial makeup. A lot of times we associate high fashion makeup with a lot of color, a lot of intrigue, a lot of drama. But what you really might find when you think about editorial makeup is simple, clean, and less is more. Today we're going to talk about the differences between different types of editorial makeup, but I'm going to show you the real essence of what it takes to achieve a proper editorial look that would be exemplary in your portfolio, in your tear sheets, things that would make more sense than something that's a little more on the avant-garde side. So here we go. I'm going to teach you a little bit about editorial makeup. An editorial makeup isn't limited to anything but your own creation and your imagination. But for my look, I focused on the burgundies. The eyes were my feature focus, my hero feature, and I used the Lime Crime Venus palette. I also used Butter Lipstick by NYX in Licorice. I also used the foil wet dries from Lime Crime in the color Goals over the 24-hour Maybelline Tattoo in Pomegranate Punk. The blush was Shimmering Lotus and Aqua Glow. I used a bronzer from La Belladonna and the eyeliner in Black Violet from Senna Cosmetics. And these are just the key features of my editorial makeup. Editorial makeups are super subjective. There's no wrong way. I mean, there's plenty of wrong ways to do it, but there's really so many ways to do it right. And it's about what you want, about the creative vision of the client. There's so many factors involved. So right now, I'm just gonna give you one version of an editorial makeup and kind of try to give you the basic points of what you wanna hit when you're doing an editorial look. Close the lashes. I always like to curl the lashes first, as I say every time I do it. This way you can get everything nice and up. And I haven't talked too much about the difference between an Instagram look and an editorial look, but all that contour and that heavy foundation is not something that you want to focus on in an editorial makeup. You want the skin to look like it could exist like that in nature. And then everything that you build on top of that is up to you, whether you're gonna do colors or make it look like an alien or whatever it is. So I went ahead and I'm taking my Bobbi Brown foundation and my Premier Ecru face oil. You can use any face oil that you want, but I like the skin to look nice and dewy. And I'm just gonna put a wash of color all over the skin before I start to blend it in. Again, I'm just trying to make her skin look like God's gift to skin. That's just a small goal, but that's why they pay us the big bucks, right? I use a moistened beauty blender to just roll out the dough and smooth out the skin. Of course, you're gonna start with an amazing skincare routine, depending on what your client's skin is like, what the final finish. If you want a matte finish completely, you might want to start out with a mattifying moisturizer, especially if your client's skin is oily, or if their skin is really dry, then you're going to be using more of a hydrating moisturizer. But right now, we've got the Ecru oil on, and I'm going for a nice juicy finish. And I'm just rolling out the dough, And we just want to make everything look positively flawless. No big deal, right? But what we want to create is the perfect palette, because when we start doing the weird avant-garde whatever, it's gonna make a really big contrast. If you've got all this contour on and you've got crazy amounts of powder or you bake, it's just too much. Like, something needs to be subdued, and if the skin is the look, then the eyes need to be downplayed because the skin is the main factor. There's gotta be one hero look or two things, but basically there's gonna be one focal feature and everything's gonna play and harmonize with that. So you can't do contour and a cut crease and the lashes. It's like everything's competing with each other and it looks like a drag queen, which is fine for other purposes. But if you have an editorial look that you're trying to do and you're going through fashion magazines and you see nobody looks like that, that's not what's gonna get you paid. And so if your goal is to be a fashion makeup artist and your whole portfolio is just filled with Instagram looks, you're not gonna get hired by the types of magazines that you want to get hired from. You can find those types of editorial jobs, but it's certainly not gonna be Vogue or Allure or Glamour. All right. I am gonna go in with the concealer in that stereotypical Instagram highlighty way. I've mixed that accru oil in it as well. This creates a little bit more work for me in the end because I've got to make sure that it doesn't crease. But because it's mixed with an oil, and these oils are dry oils, meaning they're going to absorb into the skin. They're not going to just sit on top like mineral oil or something like that. Like they're actually going to benefit your skin, hydrate, give you skincare capabilities, but it's not gonna stay looking as juicy as it's looking right now. And I'm just giving her a light highlight with this because I'm gonna be going over it with so much color and fun stuff. So the thing, again, about Editorial, and we're gonna focus on the eyes because Alejandra has this really cool icy blue, but then there's little spots of hazel in there. It's cool mix. But we're gonna go ahead and present the face. But look at how amazing her skin looks already. I just wanna stop right here. For me, the skin is my favorite. I say that about every part of the face. I'm like, oh, I love the eyes, oh, the brows, I love this. But I do love the skin. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there. I'm not gonna set it right now because I'm gonna go over it with so much stuff. But what I'm gonna begin with is Maybelline's 24-hour color tattoo. It's a cream shadow, but once it dries, there's no way we're gonna find out what the name of that color is. But it's a red tone. It's kind of like a magenta red. And I'm gonna use this as my cream shadow. I'm gonna work it in my hand, warm it up because I already put it on my hand earlier and now it's already drying. So I have to go back in. Okay, close the eyes. Alejandra's eyes are a little hooded. So the main focus of the makeup is going to be on the sides. Hooded eyes, whenever people ask me, oh, when I put my makeup in the crease, it disappears and then I can't see it. I always tell them, go watch tutorials for Asian eyes or Asian makeup and do the makeup like that. Because they also have hooded eyes. It's a layer of natural fat. Doesn't mean you need to cut out on the carbs. It's just no matter what, it's always gonna be there. That goes over your crease. So you're not gonna see it as much as somebody with my eyes who have these big old eyelids. And so the trick, if you wanna see that crease, is to make the focus of the makeup onto the sides. You could also make it so that the lids are lighter, and then your crease is what gives you the illusion of a bigger eyelid if that's the look you're going for. But right now, covering it all, baby. This stuff dries really fast. I also like using the Jane Iredale cream shadows. I really like Makeup Forever. But what's cool about these is there's a lot of color payoff and no fallout. And whatever I put on top of this is going to really stay. And what's cool about working with the oils is when you use products like these and they're so immovable and impenetrable, the oil helps to keep the makeup moving a little longer. But look at this color. Ugh, I can't, it's so cool. And I never use it, but I was feeling it for your hair. So there's a lot of blue in Alejandra's hair, and I love using reds to contrast blues. But this is more of a purpley color, so there's blue in it as well. Now that's why it's like harmonizing, and it's hitting all of the kind of similar tones in the hair. And whatever I do on the top, I like to do on the bottom. I mean, this is not a rule. This is just something I'm gonna do for this particular look. Because if you're trying to get avant-garde and weird, we're gonna try to break the rules a little bit. What I'm gonna do next is these Lime Crime wet dry foils, and I'm gonna use it dry. You can just go straight in with a brush, but I'm gonna scoop it out because they're flaky. And just see, put it, and I want to minimize the fallout because I've already done the skin. So I'm gonna be gentle. I like these foils, but nothing beats the foils from Stila, to be honest. And actually, I have some of the Stila liquid eye primer, and I'm gonna go ahead and use that too, because I don't wanna mess around. Just throw a little bit of, look at that. Yeah. Let all the fallout go on my hand. I don't know how to skin. That we worked so hard for. Okay, close. And I'm kind of like, oh man, it's making the makeup more red, which is fine, but I was kind of digging that blue, the bluish tone that we were getting. I'm not gonna have her open her eyes because I can already tell this is making a mess. The fact that I use the adhesive stuff, it's just not. So I'm putting more powder. What I'm trying to do is make her eyes look very ethereal. Reds always do that. I always call it that sickly makeup, because reds, they give you the illusion that puffy eye, but there's something cool about it. Oranges, reds. Now I'm just gonna start to blend it. But when you start layering your colors, the less work you have to do. Look up. Like, look at that. I don't even need an eyeliner right now. I could just be so done with this look, and it's gonna look kind of spooky, but in a good way. But you can have their eyes be open for some part of it so that you can really see where the crease is that you want to achieve. But I don't want this to be too high. I always find that the second eye is so much easier. And I think that putting the adhesive water on first was a mistake. You can even see it's making the makeup underneath separate. One thing, if you were really doing an editorial look for a client or for like a collaboration, and you were gonna be doing something interesting and new and odd, it's always good to practice your makeup on yourself before you, or on a friend, before you get into it. Okay, what I wanna do though is I wanna kind of fix up here a little bit and give a little bit of intrigue. I'm gonna add a little bit of intrigue by starting with the highlight, because I wanna clean this schmutz up and then go in with a transition color. You can do your transition color first. I recommend it, but I didn't do that. So just gonna go in. This is the Lime Crime Venus 1 palette, and I'm using the color Aura, but for this, you could just say it's a nice champagne tone. And I think I'm gonna be using this color quite a bit for this look, because I love the tone for a highlighter for Alejandra, because it just really goes with her. And I have like the Anastasia palette, but if I see something and it looks good, I'm just like, oh, use it. See that makeup adhesive messed it up. So I'm gonna go back in with the Maybelline color. My favorite transition tones are always oranges. Oranges, they just neutralize a lot of other colors. The red and the yellow mixture neutralize colors. So if I want to fix any type of blending or make my life easier, a peach, an orange, they're just the best. I'm gonna go ahead and give this creation color. It's more of a terracotta from Lime Crime. And I'm lightly gonna press. Since I don't really know what this color is gonna do, I want it to be just a veil. Ooh, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. And I'm gonna go ahead and even blend it up into my highlight color. Because I want this to have no beginning and have no end. That's how I think of every one of those eyeshadows. That the color is starting from nowhere and ending nowhere. And this is the part where I call it the battle of the colors. Why a transition color is easier when you put it on first. This is the basis of our look. I'm gonna go in with a little bit more of the 24 hour to fix that lid and my makeup faux pas. Plus, I like the color tone of the Maybelline color. I'm just gonna get it at the base. Look at that, guys. Barely any fallout. Look up. Just a bunch of chaos down here, but that's all right, we like it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and set it with a powder, and I'm gonna use Muse. I mean, this is a red tone. This is an amazing blush color as well. Also, remember on your cream eyeshadows and your gel liners, put the lids on them right away because they will dry out immediately. Close the eyes. So tap out that brush, and I'm just gonna press. Oof. Giving me life. But blending it out immediately. Because I don't really want to see that color. I just want to get that red intensity. Sometimes when I'm applying colors, and tell me if this makes any sense to this audience that I'm talking to. Can't talk to me in real time. I don't want to see the colors. I want to feel the colors. Like when I apply it on, open your eye. And even though we're using cream shadows and the foils with the adhesive makeup, and you saw I just went over that entire lid. That wasn't the goal. Well, here we go. Match. I always like to set the makeup. I want this makeup to last Alejandra until she graduates from college and moves out of her parents' house. That's like the 8th time I've said that joke today. I said it to like an 80-year-old woman earlier. It'll last until you stop using training wheels. Okay, I gotta stop messing around with this. It's got a lot to cover. But really, as I was saying, if we're focusing on the eyes as the look for an editorial, and now I'm taking that transition color and I'm even putting it at the bottom. This is how much I love orange. The orange is gonna start to be a focal point. But my creation is already taking me over. So I need to. But I still want to keep that orange creation intense. But I gotta roll out the dough. I don't want to see the line of it. Again, I don't want to see the color. I want to feel the color. Got a hippie sounding. See how I always am creating a palette on the face? Like, I'm not even trying to be perfect with the first application because I know I'm gonna come over it with a bunch of other things. I just need to get that color on the skin. And then I can start smoothing it out, rolling it out the way that I want to as I go along. But I need to immediately like create a palette, and I used the wrong brush. Got confused. That was the eyeshadow brush. But I'm not opposed to showing people where those mistakes are, how I make them, and how I get out of it. How do I get out of the mess? I'm taking a step back. I'm looking in the camera, seeing how that looks. Cool, I'm into it. So you could choose to go in and do some contour palette. Okay, I'll just use this contour palette from Stila. It's in medium. Alejandra is more light, but when you see how I use contour, you'll be like, oh. And I'm not the biggest fan of the Stila one. My favorite contour palette is from Senna Cosmetics. My focus is not this. My focus is to push this back. That's why when the big trend is to put the highlighter so low, all you're doing is bringing forth this part of the face. It's actually not sculpting. This going in and bringing the face in gives the illusion that this cheekbone is coming out, not this cheekbone, not like, to me, it gives the shape of Neanderthal, where that upper mandible area is just super forward because light brings out. And when you see people putting highlight and their concealer way down here, they create so much space here, and it makes the face look like it's expanding. When you do contour like this, I just want this bone to pop out. I don't want the front of this to pop out. So I go ahead and I put my product, and now I'm gonna smush it. I'm gonna smush it and blend it down because I don't wanna see the line. I just wanna see the shaped face. And that's why my focus is over here. But I didn't even really wanna put contour on this, but I feel like people always wanna know. See, so here, but this is the part that I'm really wanting to focus on. And that's it. I could put some up here, and I will. But we're gonna probably go over this with more orange. And then down. So I see the effects of the contour, but not the contour. The game is not, let's show everybody how amazing I can apply brown. That's not the game. The game is, how can I really sculpt this face for editorial anyways? I'm not saying there's no place, and I know I sound like I'm talking smack, but this is not the place for Instagram style makeup, not for editorial. Depending on what kind of magazine you're working for, we're gonna go ahead and cut off the chin a little bit because if you're doing the rule of thirds, and we have something similar because I have a very long chin too. It's just a little bit outside of the rule of thirds. We're gonna go ahead and pump up the jaw a little bit, but she looks like a little fairy right now. Okay, moving on to a blush tone. I really like this Stila Shimmering Lotus, and this is the Aqua Glow watercolor. What's cool about this is like a cheek stain, so it's gonna last for a long time. Alejandra has his little face. We don't need a lot, but she does have good big cheeks, so we like that. And that's it. Let's see what it does first, how far it spreads. Just a wash of color. Because the blush isn't the hero look, it's this situation here. It's super hydrating. I love using liquid blushes for natural makeup looks. And then just a little on top. And I'm just gonna take my beauty blender because look how fast that is. Boom! Gorgeous, gorgeous. I'm gonna set with a little bit of bronzer because we are gonna keep in the vein of the warm look. Okay, but I'm gonna get back into this orange. Okay, let's close it out. Oh, we gotta add a little bit of brow. I'm using Senna Cosmetics Taupe Brown Brow Powder Pencil. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. You can, but if you're under a time constraint, you just want to manicure the brows. But if I wanted to, I could make Alejandra's brows like huge and still make them look real. But we all know brows are a thing. And the hero of this look is the eyes. But everything has got to be in harmony with the eyes. I'm gonna blend out this orange a little more. And now I'm gonna take my favorite liner. It's called Black Violet from Senna Cosmetics, and I'm gonna tear it up. Close. You could do whatever you want. If you want to make this a cat eye, if you want to make this a smudgy, smoky eye, open the eye. I don't know if you guys could tell, I love my smudgy, smoky eyes. They're great for, sorry girl, let me know when you need a break. Tell me. Okay, close. They're great for time constraints. They really are. Yeah, keep your eyes closed actually. They're great for time constraints while keeping it looking super high fashion and beautiful. Cat eyes, those can be a little more problematic. Okay, look up. I'll do this fast. So pretty. It just adds that little, oh my God. Close the eyes. See, I just want to get that lash line. And I can keep going in so we could see that it was agitating for her. I'm gonna do it while her eyes are closed. Just get that whole bottom, which is probably not any more comfortable, but it's easier to handle. Keep the eyes closed. A little bit more of a mess. Okay, open. Yeah. So pretty. We're gonna pack this mascara on. Close. And actually, as I'm putting this on, I realized a burgundy mascara would be so cool with this. Or even a blue, like a shocking, you know, I gotta stop and I gotta grab a blue mascara. Okay, so I got inspired on the mascara. I started with the black Stila Huge, but then I was just like, something is amiss. Close your eyes. And now I'm using a magenta. I actually would like to use this powder blue that I have too, but I don't know. Let's just see what's up. I'm touching so lightly because I don't want to move. See, I already moved it. It's all right. And we gotta saturate these lashes to give them that burgundy color. You're gonna want to get deep into the root, uncomfortably close. Not uncomfortable for me, but for her. Yeah, the burgundy was a good choice. Oh my gosh. So any type of the yellow that is in her blue and her natural eyes is gonna shoot out because of all the red that we've used. Just saturate them. But now, because I'm extra, I am gonna take this blue from Butter London. I don't even know if it's called Chav. I don't even know if they still make it. I feel like it's discontinued. Close. And I'm just gonna focus a little bit on the center. Just a little bit, just to make it weird. Was this a good choice? I don't know yet. Open. No, it just looks like concealer on her eyes or something. I made a mistake. That doesn't look cool at all. Kind of. If it was all blue, it would be cool, but it's not. So, close the eyes. I'm just gonna go out with more burgundy and make a big old mess. And if you're under time constraints, it's not the best. Let's go ahead and throw on a lip and let's be done with this look. Butter lipstick from NYX in the color Licorice. You can start with a liner, but I'm gonna do a wash of color first to see if this is even the color that will work. Okay, pretty. It's a little more on the red side than I would do like a black cherry, like really black. And I probably would do a matte. But I do like this. It's really pretty. It started, and now it's kind of reminiscent of the 1920s makeup with all these purples. And then the shape of her lip is super cute. Cupid's bowie. I'm gonna go in and clean this up real quick. Take a little bit of makeup remover on a Q-tip. You can also do a pencil concealer, but this is better first. But I try to keep the foundation and the concealers on my hand or on my palette, because you're gonna have to go in and use them. And I do need to use a liner. Okay, now I'm gonna go in and blend that out with another small blending brush because I don't wanna see this concealer. These little extra things, they take time. They're so time consuming. But if this was a photo shoot and then somebody was getting in a raw footage format photo, and you go see this photo, you zoom up to that lip and that lip wasn't perfectly lined, you're gonna quit. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with the MAC, and I'm constantly going in and then making sure that I've taken off the color from my, because I just don't want to make a mess and smudge it. But if you're working with a mature client and she's got smoker lines or whatever, this is going to help keep the makeup from bleeding. See, I made a little smooch. I think that this is amazing, but because there's so much intensity and the brows are that kind of shape, we've got to make it a little thicker and add a little more intensity to match all of the fun that's going on. Just a little bit. Okay, now I'm gonna go in and set where we need to set. Because I like it to be dewy, it's smart to keep the centers, especially for Alejandra, who has this well-preserved skin. So wherever my hands went and I made a mess, maybe you want to add some more highlight, or you get to choose whatever it is that you want to do. And I'm going to go ahead and use my Becca Evermatte Poreless Priming Perfector. I love it for even after the aftermath. What do I do here? To get in the areas that really don't need as much shine, so that this makeup will last for the duration of the shoot. An editorial makeup, sometimes to me, I'm just like, it's a makeup. It's whatever you want it to be. It's whatever your client wants it to be. It's whatever you've decided on. In this particular look, I focused really on the eyes and giving a bit of embellishment onto the sides with the orange. Very simple lip that blended into the color of the eye makeup. Not a lot of blush, perfect skin. And this is my interpretation of an editorial.